Welcome back to Together We Can's monthly action items. My name is Rob Crane, and along with my friend Pastor Richie Butler, we are co-founders of Together We Can. And after a short summer break, we come back here in the month of August, and as we do each year, we recognize Women's Equality Day, as well as the history of women's leadership in our country. And in so many respects, women are the backbone. They're the constitution of our progress in this country when it comes to so many issues of equality, not just in terms of race, but in gender and so many other important topics. And so this month, we take a little bit of a layered look. We do go back into the history of women who were leaders in the suffrage movement, in particular Black women, and learn so much about our history in this country that oftentimes we don't learn in our schools. We also listen to multiple voices from the New York Times segment, a conversation with Black women on race that really just gives snapshot after snapshot of wonderful perspectives that somebody like I need to learn more about and appreciate how it is to walk in somebody else's shoes. And we're going to spend some time here on a Facebook Live segment from Brene Brown, the great Brene Brown. As so many of you all know, she is one of the leading voices in America, period, stop. She is a person who is redefining how we talk to one another. She's redefining how we approach our own daily lives when it comes to our insecurities, our vulnerabilities. And she's teaching America how to own their story. Americans owning their individual stories, Americans owning our country's story. And we are going to listen to what I think is a very important Facebook Live program she did several years ago. This was after the terrible events that happened in Charlottesville. And she went on Facebook Live and just hit things head on. And she really talks about the componentry that we all need to be mindful of when having these conversations in America, the importance of these conversations in America, and how we can go about and doing a better job individually of having these conversations in a more positive way. She brings up words we don't like to talk about. She talks about them and defines them and allows us to wrap our arms around words that honestly are conversation stoppers for a lot of people. And she does not back down from that. And you'll understand and see what I'm talking about with her discussion here about owning our story in America and going through all of the different elements that have to be considered for these kinds of conversations. And we're not going to get it right. You're going to hear her talking about, look, when you have the courage to get into the conversation of owning our history in America in terms of race, you're going to get pushback, you're going to get feedback, and you're not always going to say things the right way. And that's just part of it. That's part of the courage it takes to have these conversations. And what she does is she provides us the tools, the backdrop, the history of going about it in the best way possible, as well as the importance of it. There are so many elements in her talk that are important to each and every one of us, and us understanding how we can go about making our country stronger by addressing and owning our history. And it's something that we approach each month with Together We Can. And Brene Brown does it as well as anybody could. She is a 6-time New York Times best-selling author. She's a clinical social worker, academic, public speaker. For those of you who have seen the TED Talks, you know what I'm talking about as far as her capturing the nation when it comes to understanding ourselves and how to address our fears, our insecurities, and moving forward in such a stronger way. Her TED Talk back in 2010, I believe, has been seen by over 20 million viewers, and I'm sure it's probably closer to 30 million these days. And she followed it up with another TED Talk about a year or so later, which is also critically important for each and every one of us. So, warning, she does come about it with her own brand of language, which she has colorful language. So we put a salty language alert on this segment, but she's authentic. And that's what she tells us we need to be in having these conversations. So we celebrate Women's Equality Day. We celebrate the history and strength of those women leaders who made the suffrage movement happen. And we celebrate women who are strong enough to talk to us and share their perspectives of what it's like on their journey through America. And then we take one of the great leaders of America, Brene Brown, and we try to learn from her this month on such an important topic about how we can own our story here in America in a positive way. And as she says, it takes each and every one of us having these conversations. That's how we turn the conversation into a conversation that we can have, we can share, we can own, and be proud of. So we hope you enjoyed this month's segments, and we look forward to seeing you next month.